Hey there crafters, welcome to Countdown to Christmas. This is a 24-day project, so there are 24 projects in total. I'm joining my friend Tracy Bish. We are both Stampin' Up demonstrators in Australia, and we have joined together to bring to you on YouTube a whole heap of videos to inspire you. If you are running late or you're wanting to get started on all of your projects, this is the place to be. We are creating a whole heap of cards. There is a bit of scrapbooking, and there's a whole heap of small gifts to create. If you are joining this channel, this video right now, and you haven't seen any of the others, please make sure you go back to day one by clicking the links below. If you haven't already, subscribe so that you can get notified every time we have a new video. Now today, which is my last day because it is day 23, and day 23 I'm celebrating with a scrap page. For those that are unfamiliar with me and my channel, I have been scrapbooking for a very, very long time but was out of it for a while. So I'm really excited to show you my Christmas layout with lots of gold. I have room here for 2 small photos, and I scrap these ones in 8 by 8 pages. So if you are wanting to get started or be inspired by some of the techniques used in scrapbooking pages, please make sure you are watching this one. And I have a little sneaky suspicion that Tracy is doing one tomorrow as well. Thanks everyone for joining with all the fun that we've been having. And if you haven't, go back to the beginning and join with us there too. Let's get started. The final project that I have chosen, I thought I'd end on the note of a scrapbooking page. And I think Tracy's doing exactly the same thing, just a different layout. Now, the very first thing I want to say is that I have to admit, I have used for mine today a die to cut out my shapes. However, you can either substitute yours with circles. So you probably can, if you haven't watched already, I have got one of my cards from the countdown for Christmas is using the circle spotlight on nature circles, which you could use for this as well, particularly the smaller ones, or you can hand cut them. So easily done. Just Google a hexagon shape or any kind of shape that you would like, and you can hand cut them or trimmer, whatever. For me today, however, I have already cut mine. That's my little confession for today. So those of you that have played along with me scrapbooking wise, I have been doing scrapbooking for a very long time. It actually was something I did more so, if not completely, before I did card making. So I have had a break and I have started to get back into it. I am actually using 8 by 8 inch pages. I have an album at home, an old one. I think it was a different manufacturer that did it, but that is what I have brought to it. I guess it is an easy, manageable size. I do like to have just 1 or 2 photos, and then you will find sometimes I'll have hidden journaling or some hidden photos. So hopefully I can show you something new today. So I am starting with a basic white 8 by 8 inch square. You can get one of these out of an A4 sheet of cardstock. If you would prefer to be the 12 by 12 sides, you can still do all of these measurements and then stick it onto a beautiful sheet of our DSP as a huge border. And I might actually leave one out, and if I can remember, I will actually do that at the very end so you get a bit of an idea. All right, so to start, I am going to use my basic white. I am going to put that to one side because I'm not going to do anything with that yet. I am going to do 2 things. So on this, with my garden green 2 tone cardstock. I've got to get it right. This one here, I did 7.5 inches by 7.5, and then I did a, let me see, it's just a bit over 2.5 times by the same 7.5 in height. So what we're going to do with this first piece is it's exactly the same. You can put it on the other side. That's why we have the two-tone. I'm going to have the same, and I'm going to run that through my cut and emboss machine. I'm not going to do that on camera because I've got to shift everything around. I've got lots of little pieces already cut out. So I am going to use the Forever Plaid 3D embossing. So you've probably seen me use that a couple of times. It is the one that I probably have used the most, particularly for Christmas. It's very, very pretty. You can put it in this way. I think I did a project the other day, and I did it on an angle, so it was really nice. I'm going to do it this way today, and you just have to decide what do you want raised. So I want these impressions of the lines. Okay, so you use the side that has the Stampin' Up symbol on the top, and that will bring everything that you can see up, if that makes sense. I'm just going to run that through my machine. If you have not seen all of the videos, if you've just popped along and found this, or you're partway through our series, please make sure you go back and have a look. It is a collaboration with Tracy Bish, so we're both Australian demonstrators, and we have worked really hard to bring together 24 fabulous countdown to Christmas videos that have both cards and projects, as well as a scrapbooking page or two, and they are here not just for Christmas, they are actually for any variety of occasions. You could change up what you've got. All right, so there is our piece of two-tone cardstock. I'm going to use just a nail file. I'm just going to run that a little bit over. You can see some of it comes to white, because it has a white card, white core. You just run it over and it takes off just that printed or inked dyed layer, and you get some of the white. I don't want it to be too much, but you can see we don't, in Australia, we don't have a white Christmas, but it's always nice to have a little bit of white. Okay. All right, now before we start playing with a lot of these fabulous shapes, I am going to use the negative of one of these, and I am just going to have one or two of these shapes, and I've got some in a slightly smaller size as well, where did I leave it? I've got one here, which is DSP, and that's fine. So I want the negative. I'm just going to cut that out. May as well just leave that one. I'll show you why. I'm going to use a blender brush, and I am going to use my real red, garden green, which has now disappeared somewhere. So just give me 1 second to find. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. So this is what we're going to use, garden green. Okay. Now I'm not going to do the entire shape. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this to one side. It's not where it's going to be. I'm going to put it off the side. But for now, I'm just going to move it here, just so you can sort of see where you want this. So you're going to pop this underneath, so some of it's going to be underneath. I'm just going to have it off, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of sticky note, and I'm going to stick it down so it doesn't move on that side and on this side. And it will protect your paper as well. And I'm just going to add some of it. Now you can't probably see that because it is garden green, but when I take that off now, you can just see it. So what I want to do is I want to just sort of shift this around. I'm just going to move this one over here a little bit, and I'm going to try and make sure it's all lined up. And I want this one here, like so. And I'm going to do another one. And this one I'm going to do, because it will be more outside of our strip that we've just embossed. And you can make some of it quite dark if you want, but this will show off there. I hope you can see that. Can you see? It's just a few shapes. We're going to do some down the bottom and some to the side. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do some of this. So I'm going to do another little one here off the edge like we did for the first one, and it's going to poke under here. All right, 1, 2. Okay, so this takes a little bit of time, but I do love the fact that you get a little bit of shading in the background without having to do too much, you know what I mean? Like, you're not adding a lot of layers, but we actually like to have a lot of layers that aren't too bulky when it comes to scrapbooking. Okay, pop that one there, do the third one here, so it protects your the parts that you don't want to be inked. Okay, there we go, another one there, and let's see, another one here, lining it up. I'm just going to actually overlap that one, so it will come a little bit darker, or at least that's what I want. I want it to be a bit darker here. So hopefully you have followed along with some of my projects and Tracy's projects in the Countdown to Christmas. If you haven't sort of discovered some of our projects, Tracy especially has quite a large number of videos over the years, so they are fantastic, and she has a lot of projects that she does that aren't just cards. So that's what I love to follow along with for her, because she gets all these fantastic ideas, which I don't even and it's not something that I come up with until she shows everyone. It's like, wow. So yeah, a little bit of a wrap up for Tracy. So Tracy is in Victoria in Australia, and I am in Queensland. So if you have a look on the map, we don't live anywhere near each other. Tracy lives in a town close to some relatives of mine that used to live there, so I did know where she lived when I found out. All right, one more I think we'll do. Putting lots of dark one on there and leaving it like so. All right, hopefully you can see that. It looks a little bit odd at the moment, but this will actually be covered. So even the part that I just gave you then is you can't see it. Okay, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to move that to one side for a minute. I'm going to show you by placing it on here what I'm going to do, and probably some of this I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit for you in the video. Don't want it to be too boring. So you can see I've got a couple of little ones here that are got a negative in them. I've got a nice gold one, and then I've got lots of these and some little ones, and then I've got lots of these that can be matted. Now I've got way more than I'm going to use. What I am going to do is I'm going to adhere this down, Okay, and I'm going to then use some of my shapes. Some will be flat and some will get dimensional dots on them. So let's put some adhesive. Oops, doesn't matter because we're going to add more. Okay, I'm going to add that here. So it's off to one side, and you can see the two-tone cardstock here. It's going to just give a bit of a border, and that's where a lot of our shapes are going to go here. So let me start with our DSP. So we have used the traditional Christmas, I think it is. That is where we have all of this is based from. So we're going to trying to stick to where this is. So I'm going to add one here, like so. Yeah, so the suite is actually using a sentiment and some dies and beautiful DSP and some beautiful sequins. So if you haven't discovered it yet, I know some of it at one point was selling out quite quickly. And that's okay, like you can come back into the store and usually they'll have restocked at some point. I love the fact that one side of this DSP has foiling and the other side is a plainer but still fairly traditional pattern, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so you can see I'm starting to, now I want to do some of these smaller ones and they're going to sort of be like, can I show you that? They line up, but they don't have to be like one on top of the other. I can move them side to side. And like I said, I don't want to have too many, so I am just going to play with it a little bit. And then I'm going to stop. I'm not very good at stopping. I do tend to end up going a little overboard. Where are we? Here. Like that. I'm going to use one or two where you just get the plain cardstock. Okay, because this will be layers as well, like I said. So I'm going to do this side as well, and then we're going to stop for our oh no, I'll probably add one more. Then I'm going to add some that have dimension. So one here. Now I'm going to have it going slightly off the page and we are going to trim it back. Okay, so over here, lining it up like this one. I'm lining it up this end with these corner parts. And I am going to cut it off, but not just yet. All right, now we're going to use some dimensional dots. Now I've got lots of little bits, so I'm going to cut them up. Don't throw them away. Make sure you use all of these when you are card making or scrapbooking. All right, so I'm going to use them all up. All right, the first one is a large one, and I want it to be to one side. No, got to get it right. I think I want one up here. Maybe not. I want the gold ones to be dimensional. So let's pop some of them in here. All right, now I'm going to trim this back, these side pieces, all these tops and bottoms. There. So just go slowly. Okay, No, not quite. Do it again, like so. This one here. Okay. All right, just to show you what it's going to look like. Okay, there we go. We're starting to get everything come together. So I wanted this page to be more like a, I don't know, a little bit funky, I guess you could say. All right, now, if you have watched one or two of my other videos of scrapbooking, I have there is a PDF on my blog that you can download, and it gives you the sizes of our photos that we can print off. So this one here is a 10 by 7.5. So 2 of these put together, just ignore the fact that when you've got 2 of these together, that creates a normal size photo that you can print off, and then these ones are 1/4 of that again. So there are different ways that you can do that and print them off. We're not going to worry about that today, but if you're not sure how to do it, please let me know, because I can give you some ideas on how to print those off here in Australia, unless if you don't have your own printer. Okay, all right, now onto this part here. We've got our 2 photos done. Now I don't have a sheet of cardstock that goes, and I'm just playing with this idea that we're going to have a piece of, and I'm not going to. Okay, I probably will end up putting a border all the way around, but we're not going to do that just yet. We'll just get ourselves sorted here. Right, our photos. So our photos, I'm going to put one as dimensional and one not. This one here, I will put straight on here. I'm just trying to decide if I want, I think I want them a little bit askew with. And you can see a lot of this shading now has disappeared in amongst all the other layers, and that's okay. All right, so for me to say this is what we're going to do the next one, I am going to pop this here. Okay, and it's going to sit under here because I'm no, I want it on this side all the way down here. I think I just want that little bit of color so that that green isn't too wrong way. Okay, and I'm going to leave that because it's going to go off that page. All right, so to do that one, I am going to do dimensional dots, but only sort of from here to there. The reason being is I want some of this so that you can slip your photo in later, because I am doing this without photos so that I've got things ready for Christmas this year. Okay, I'll do one more here. All right, so it's all fairly stuck down, but it actually has the ability underneath to have your photos like this. Okay, now I don't think I'll be doing any journaling on this one. That there we go. I'm not going to do some hidden journaling for this one. I am probably just going to keep it as it is. All right, almost done. So we've got season's greetings. Now this one is in so there is an old olive, or like a lighter green. Okay, and I do love the fact that we get the gold underneath popping it. So I'm going to add that one here. Okay, and it's going to, again, some dimensional dots here, and we're going to trim it off the side. Okay, I'm just doing some mini ones because that's what I grabbed out of my stash. Okay, here we go. There we are. So I will trim this back just a little bit. Don't mind the fact that I'm just making sure that it's in the right spot. All right, and I'm going to, like I said, we're going to add our season's greetings over the top there. Plenty of glue for that one. Over the top. That. Okay, I am going to leave that so it doesn't, it does hang out over a little bit. All right, let me see. Photos are there. Oh, my sparkling sequins. I will grab those. I'm going to add quite a few to this. So I'm going to grab my scalpel, and I am going to use lots of gold in these ones. So these are really pretty. Okay. So there is room here to add, add some journaling, and you could add some stripped journaling here, just to sort of, you know, it sort of just lets you know like where people were and stuff like that. When I used to do hidden journaling, often I just would write on the back of my page. People don't see it if it's in an album, and I was really trying not to have all of my information or memories, I guess. I didn't want them for everyone to see, so I often did my journaling on the back. Okay, very, very pretty. Okay, now you can obviously change your greetings. You could make it a big title. For me, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Just a couple more, I think, of these. I've actually lost count of how many I have put down, but that's okay. I think that's plenty. Let me adhere this now down, and I've decided I am going to use some of my DSP underneath. Now, we do all love our DSP, and we want it to be like something that's really going to stand out. So I'm going to use this one. Now, to do this one, I'm going to be conservative. So I'm going to put just a small amount, okay? And then I'm going to cut the inside. So I know that doesn't probably make sense. You'll see it in a second. We're almost done. So this, remember, was, let me see, 7.5. So now we're going to go to 7 3/4. Okay, and I'm keeping it as much as I can. So 7 3/4 again. That strip there. Now, whilst I've still got it on my trimmer, I'm going to take 1 inch off on the inside. Okay, 1 inch. That's all you need. 1 inch here. Doesn't matter if they sort of overlap and it's not perfect, as long as what you're doing is cutting a window out. So that window that you're cutting underneath, you get to use on other cards or projects. Okay, I'm going to adhere this on here first. And look, I could do it this way. Just don't make my mind up. But I don't think I will. Okay, put this one down first. Okay, here we go. Trying to keep my videos less than 30 minutes, and I know that I'm almost there. Okay, let's pop that here. Okay, that doesn't look like it's the right amount. Okay, that's right though. Okay, so let me add that one to here. So you just get that small little amount of paper, DSP sticking through, peeking through, and it just finishes everything off nicely. All right, we are done. All right, thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully you can give this a go too. Like I said, it can either be with other shapes or even just some little squares cut, and it's just to layer it up. And then once you've got a couple of photos here and a little bit of journaling, you're done, and it's just a bit of fun. All that gold is wonderful. Thank you very much for joining me. Like I've said, make sure you are subscribing so you do get notifications on my videos for Tracy and myself's channel. If you haven't seen all of these, pop back and watch them. And thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye everyone.